Hi, Helen Racz here. Thank you for joining me. Last month, I sent you a video starting this series to go out in the newsletter of Be the Boss of You. That's what I call it when we're the ones creating our life on purpose with purpose. Have you ever felt like life is somehow living you? You just seem pulled along and never really sure who's in charge? Well, being the boss of you is an expression that I like to use in my family and in my life. It just reminds me to stay in control, to be the one choosing, to always know what it is I want, and to be sure that I'm headed in that direction. So my intention is to fast track you in success. So whatever it is you're desiring, I want to give you some foundational pieces that will help you stay on track for that. So again, we used the analogy last month, and if you want to access that, you can do so through my blog. We used the analogy of be the boss of you, and we looked at it just like, what would a good boss be? What would that involve? So I want to take you a little further this video and give you a little more information on the way I like to teach. This is a vibrational planet. So nothing I'm going to teach is anything new. It's already been taught by many fabulous teachers throughout many centuries, actually, and decades. And yet, truth is truth. And sometimes in the human experience, we need many different teachers. We need to hear the same information from many different ways and perspectives and angles to actually be able to integrate it. And to show you just how not new this theory is, here we go. A quote that I really like when I'm teaching. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. So I always teach that it is a vibrational planet. So I want to talk today with you about aligning vibrationally with what you want. So where I want to take you, vibrationally speaking, everything you desire to have in your life or create, whether it's a thing, a circumstance, an experience, a feeling, a relationship, better health, money, a specific car, a job, anything you desire to consciously manifest has a resonance. And it's important that you're in like resonance to allow it into your life in a very powerful and permanent way. Sometimes we'll pop into things that can feel like sudden success and we're unable to sustain it because it's not our dominant vibration as a good fit. So speaking vibrationally, let's play with this for a minute. We talked about manifesting that there are only two vibrations, the having and the not having. A very simple way, but once you really integrate this information, it will help you. You'll be able to catch yourself. Am I speaking in the having? Am I feeling in the having or the not having? So keeping this in mind, let's go a little further. One of the biggest foundational rules that I've found to help people fast track their success in all areas of life is how they tell their story. So last month we talked about either working on the intention setting, which covered a lot of areas, or really focusing on integrity. So think about this again, integrity. What kind of vibration do you think that would have? Very high vibration. Everything you want because it will feel good, and that always equals a higher vibration. Okay, so everything you want is because you perceive that it's good, that it will feel good to you to have it, or to experience it, or to be living it, or to be sharing it. You're believing that will feel good to you. That's always a higher vibration. Not having is lack. Oh, I got this backwards on the board for the way I wrote. So not having is lack. It's a lower vibration, fear, scarcity, discomfort. Having would be abundant, feeling full of vitality and health, feeling wealthy. No matter what was going on around you, that's the vibrational place you want to create. So of course, when we want to feel good, this is going to be a higher vibration. So one of the quickest ways I found to start changing your vibrational alignment into a much higher state is the rule of don't tell your sad story more than 3 times. So sad story, and sad could be struggle, hard, anything along that, painful, anything along that. Don't tell that story more than 3 times. Now, if you're already advanced, you're going to want to look at this differently. Don't tell the story 2 times, 1 time. Start lowering it. But this is very common. So let me give you some examples. I did read once in a Reader's Digest, thought this was brilliant. A woman was talking to her daughter-in-law on the phone, and she was telling her about her terrible car broke down and how awful it was. And the daughter-in-law is listening, and I think she's the one who wrote the story. And at the end of the phone call, the mother-in-law had to go, and she said, "Oh, I got to go, but at first I got to thank you. Thank you so much for not telling me your bad car story." And it cracked me up, because here the author was saying, and I was sitting there thinking of my worst car breakdown stories and was going to share that. And I get that we often, that's how we connect. We share stories. But I ask you, what story are you most often telling? And is it a higher vibrational match to what you truly desire? So this particular assignment I've given to many people. Do not tell your sad story more than 3 times. If you're further along your personal path, don't tell it more than 2 times. Eventually, you won't tell your sad story at all, unless it serves you, unless it is if somebody's asking you for information. But really think about it. What are you telling most often in the way you speak? What memories are you bringing into consciousness over and over and over again? What vibration are you in when you tell your sad story? And then here's another piece for you. I do this now. I'm pretty good about catching myself, not always, but really very good compared to what I used to be. So sometimes something will happen and I feel like, well, the truth is I want somebody to feel bad for me. And then I think, wait, is that what I really want? Is that really fit the picture of where I want to go and who I am? Well, maybe it is. Then I'll call and tell somebody, hey, I need you to listen to my story and feel bad for me for a moment. I preface it so that I'm in the vibration and then I'm out of it. But just randomly telling my story of what went wrong in a day, in a moment, on the road, what does it serve? You want to ask yourself, what is it I'm seeking to get from the telling of this story or from the way I'm telling it? And once you master this, not telling your sad story more than 3 times, you're going to become even more conscious of what you're speaking, thinking, feeling all the time. That's what we want. To get what you want that feels good, you have to be in resonance with feeling good. When you're telling a sad story, you do not feel good. The more often we can resonate at a higher vibration, gratitude, clarity, faith, of expectation that's positive, then we can allow in so much more success personally and in all areas of our life. This is where we want to go. So a good way to get there is just have this rule. Don't tell your sad or your frustrating or your hard or your difficult story more than 3 times. Now I do want to share with you one student. She said she was kind of particular and she just didn't want to waste any of her stories. What this 3 times will do is make you think about who you want to share it with, what they'll give back to you. Well, she really got into this assignment, and so she just held on to her story. And what she noticed is, because she didn't want to waste any on the wrong people, the telling of it, that she found she wasn't telling her story at all. And yes, her life drastically improved from her perception, and she's enjoying it. So I always love that story that she just kind of hoarded her stories, not on purpose, but she found the benefit even quicker. So yes, I challenge you. If you can do less than 3 times, great, do that. But again, it's about asking yourself, what is it I want to feel? And what is it I want other people to perceive about me when I'm speaking? What story am I most telling about myself? Is it one that is in like vibration, the having vibration of good feeling? Is that where it is? That's where you want to aim for. So I hope this thought, this challenge to not tell your story, your sad story, more than 3 times and maybe even 0 times has been a benefit to you.